During the past 3 weeks, severe load shedding has disrupted all of our lives and caused immense damage to our economy. South Africans are justifiably frustrated, and they are also angry. I understand that. They are also fed up. We have therefore developed a set of actions to respond to this crisis. The set of additional actions I'm announcing this evening, firstly, are aimed at improving the performance of Eskom's existing fleet of power stations. Secondly, these actions will accelerate the procurement of new generation capacity. Thirdly, these actions are intended to increase the private sector investment in generation capacity. Fourthly, these actions are designed to enable businesses as well as households to invest in rooftop solar installation. And finally, these actions are directed at fundamentally transforming the electricity sector and positioning it for future sustainability. One of the first steps we took to address the electricity shortfall was to revive the renewable energy procurement program that had stopped. We revived it in 2018. Since then, over 2,000 megawatts of solar and wind power has been connected to the grid through bid window 4 of the program. A further 2,600 megawatts of capacity has been procured through bid window 5, which will begin to add capacity from early 2024. We have started to diversify generation by allowing parties other than Eskom to also generate electricity. We are fixing Eskom, and improving the performance of our existing fleet of power stations. Over time, the maintenance program of Eskom's electricity generation fleet has declined. It is now been decided that over the next 12 months, Eskom will increase the budget allocated for critical maintenance to increase the reliability of its generation capacity. We're cutting red tape that has made it difficult for Eskom to buy maintenance spares and equipment within the required period to effect repairs. Over the next 3 months, Eskom will take additional actions to add new generation capacity to the grid on an urgent basis. As an immediate measure, surplus capacity will be bought from existing independent power producers. These are power plants which built more capacity than was required and can now supply this excess power to Eskom. As part of addressing the shortage of megawatts, Eskom will now also purchase additional energy from existing private generators such as mines, paper mills, shopping centers, and other private entities that have surplus power. A number of our neighbouring countries in Southern Africa, such as Botswana and Zambia, have more electricity capacity than they require for their economies. Eskom will now import power from these countries through the Southern African Power Pool arrangement. We have spoken in the past about Eskom's huge debt, which stands at close on to 400 billion rand. The debt continues to be a huge burden on Eskom's ability to address its many challenges. The National Treasury is working to finalize a sustainable solution to Eskom's debt. The Minister of Finance will outline how government will deal with this matter in an effective manner when he presents the medium-term budget policy statement in October. The South African Police Service has set up a special law enforcement team to help Eskom in confronting crime and corruption and fraud that has tended to be quite rife in Eskom power stations. A number of people have already been arrested in recent days, and several others are already being prosecuted for corruption and fraud involving Eskom contracts. We are accelerating greater private sector investment in generation capacity. Last year, we announced the raising of the licensing threshold to 100 megawatts. This move was widely welcomed. Following the success of this reform and the enthusiasm shown by the private sector, we will remove the licensing threshold for embedded generation completely. This will enable private investment in electricity generation to rise to higher levels. While they may not require licenses, all new generation projects will still have to register with the regulator and comply with the technical requirements for grid connection and our environmental legislation. I have instructed departments and entities to review all existing timeframes and to ensure that we process all applications on an urgent basis so that we do not have these elongated delays. These measures are preferable to declaring a state of disaster or even emergency, as some have suggested. These interventions will allow us to do what is necessary to accelerate new generation capacity while protecting the rights of all South Africans and upholding the rule of law. We do not need a state of emergency or declare a national state of disaster to implement common sense regulations that should help in resolving our energy crisis. I have established a National Energy Crisis Committee. The committee is chaired by the Director General in the Presidency and brings together all the departments and entities involved in the provision of electricity. They bring together the Department of Public Enterprises, Department of Fisheries, Forestry and Energy, the Department of Mineral and Energy, the Treasury is also part of it, the police are also part of it, and so all the departments that have to do with helping us to stabilize our energy system will be part of it, and it will be coordinated from the Presidency. The National Energy Crisis Committee will draw on the best available expertise from business, from labor, from professional engineering entities, and community-based organizations.